Thanks for joining 10 Minutes with Maxx Gilliam. We have Manejay Lewis, engineer, creative teacher, artist. I mean, just look, we could go on with that, but how about you give us a one to 2 minute rundown?
Well, as you said, I've always been teaching, I've always been educating, I've been an engineer since out the womb, so to say. So, through all my challenges throughout life, here I am. I'm currently in New Jersey on different projects, giving that my gift back to the world, which is engineering, everything. That's pretty much it.
Everything.
Everything.
And what because we talked the other day and you were explaining how people don't really understand how an engineer is relevant in many different spaces. In what other ways are some of us engineers and might not even know it?
I mean, we could talk about when you're cooking a meal. You're understanding the different components for the flavor compounds that you want to express in someone's mouth. Depending on the time of day, you even can match it with a particular drink to enhance the flavors. These are ways that you are designing based upon your materials and experience. So you can be a food engineer because you have food engineers.
Right.
So I don't know. Let's say
A
you
chef, a
a
chef is
chef.
a food engineer.
Right, right. So those are the normalized titles we give. A very amazing thing to do. That not everybody can make, a crazy cheesecake. Not
Right,
everybody's able to do that.
right,
And then the person themselves do not understand sometimes why I can't replace and make the cheesecake that you just made. You know what I
right.
mean? So all the scientific components, the math that goes inside of it, even the color science. Maybe your cheesecake looked really good on a plate, on a platter,
Right.
because you put
You're
a little
putting all
vanilla
that
or
together.
something in it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
those are ways where you can definitely be an engineer and don't know.
Now, one of many interesting things about you is you're a first generation Liberian-American, right?
Right.
So what was it like growing up living those two different worlds, so to speak, in one? Most Americans just know America and that's it. But you grew up in a house that was very Liberian, but when soon as you went out the house, you were in America.
Sometimes it didn't even take me to go outside of the house. It could be that I'm interacting with a particular television show and the war starts right there. So you ask me, how does it feel? It feels like a war every day of clashing values. What's internal to you, how I would watch, Sanford and Son, an old
Wow.
television show, because my mom wasn't about that cable life. That was a little bit too much in this
Right.
modern world. And I would be looking at this stuff and not laughing and wondering, what is the problem? What's happening here? My mother would interpret and my grandmother would interpret it like, oh, that old man, he need a little bit of this and that. And I would just be looking at them and I said, no, these are actors. This isn't truly happening. And
Right.
we would tussle. Don't you talk to me like that. I'm your mom. I'm this person. Who are you to tell me? So it would just be like, the culture says to abide by respecting my elders, but they are so wrong in that Fred Sanford is not really going to have a heart attack because of these different things. So that's just my anecdote to explain what it felt like without me even coming outside into the main world. Right
Right.
from turning on the television, war starts.
Wow. Like, what was it like being like different from other people, like your peers, right? So they're living the American way, whatever that is for them.
It's tumultuous because you're being told by your peers, oh, it's not that serious, or you're exaggerating for something as simple as asking me what I want to eat. And I think I've shared this many times with others. Ordering your meal as an American is privilege. Like, I don't want to say as an American, as a person who was raised knowing you're American, knowing you have a right to eat
Right.
what you want to eat, you have a little bit more freedom than I had on a daily. So that's where it feels very, very hard, because now I'm joining. Let's say I go out to eat with you guys, and I'm nervous, I'm anxious I'm not on medication or nothing. Maybe I should be, because it breeds a lot of mistrust and crazy feelings because of freaking breakfast. So just explain, what do you want to eat today? And I now have to go ahead into mask and say something that's not going to have people look at me crazy, have people arguing with me. I might just say pancakes, but I don't want pancakes. Right. I might want some fufu and soup.
Make it life easier.
Yeah, to make my life easier, you have to.
Now, give me some advantages. I heard you say the word mask, and I want to get to Avatar Mask, your poem. But give me some advantages of being first gen Liberian in America.
The advantages are you become very bilingual, multilingual, I should say. And that gives you a range of things to connect with other people with.
Nice.
Because I go into my bag and it's just like, do I want to use this word, that word, this experience to form this new connection, maybe with this top tier exec? Yep, I have those skills in line to be able to do that. So that's a great benefit.
And how do you feel about like knowing your ancestral culture? Like, there's a large portion of Americans that don't know past their, like where they're from, basically, and where your people are from.
Right.
What is that like?
It feels like, not to just always reference different arts, but I'm an artist as well as an engineer. But survivor's remorse is the colloquialism. Okay. It feels like my bad that I remember or I know, I'm informed. So you're always apologizing for having more knowledge about the music, more knowledge about the food, more knowledge about the morals and the principles while someone else is learning them. So it feels like that. It feels like a survivor's remorse.
Okay. Now, your poem, Avatar Mask. What was the inspiration for Avatar Mask? Give us as quick as you can a rundown on what that's about.
Imagine what I just told you, all wrapped up in a loving relationship with someone else who doesn't know where they're from. So you want to partner that with a very loving experience. So now you have to deal with my interpretation of love, my lover's interpretation of love, our cultural experiences. Who's talking to who? Your avatar is talking to mine, or is it your soul or my soul? Hold up, we need to have some conversations. We need some questions. We need to get to the bottom of this through that Socratic method. That's the inspiration for that poem.
Like, now, real quick on the questions, because I know you're a questioner.
Yes.
How much of that helps you with your overall answer? And I mean, not just a specific question, but overall questioning throughout your life. Does that, how does that give you your answer?
Well, it gives me the data that I need to make the decisions that I need to on a daily. That's where the engineer part kicks in. I'm not going to either get rid of this relationship just because I don't like it. I need to know, hey, at this point in turn, did it turn to this because of this reason? This is where the miscommunication began. So it helps me. The information helps me determine whether I made a good decision and I'm going to get to that goal faster and without troubles the next time. That's how my process allows me to navigate this physical space.
I appreciate that. We should all, do more of that, as opposed to spewing what we think we know. We should ask questions. Now, let me ask you back to the Avatar Mask, right? Mm-hmm. And for those who want to get a better understanding of what that is, you can check the poem out on YouTube. What's your YouTube handle?
M. Vivian Lewis.
M. Vivian Lewis on YouTube. How necessary is it to shield one's true self with using their avatar and additional masks? How necessary is it? Because I know you're coming from the point of, hey, don't confuse my avatar with my real self. But how necessary is it for us to use that avatar to shield?
I could answer this question for days, but it's just like in any animal kingdom. I was just learning about the octopus and how they're just a squishy mess of whatever. And so their survival rate, they won't make it unless they use their adaptations. So you're asking me how crucial that is. If you want to survive this experience, you need to put on a mask, a double mask, because we're too mixed here. And everyone is not a safe space. Not all spaces that say safe are safe. If you want to make sure your generations move on, you need to protect that special being underneath all those masks. You actually do.
Wow, we need way more time. Uh,
Yeah.
do you find it easy? Do you find it easier to confuse um, in this day and age? Like, is it hard to figure out who's the real self that you're talking to? In others, I mean.
I mean, for myself, you have to still yourself, still your world, and listen to those voices inside of you without outside impact. That's a very quiet space. But how often do we get quiet? It could be the moments in the car, the 20-minute drive. That's crucial regeneration time to find out who you truly are. Questioning yourself in regards to your art, the pop culture, everything, keep questioning and answering it and listening to the voices inside of you that are responding to those questions.
Wow.
And analyze that information, man, and then you'll be in tune with who you truly are. And then you could get a sense of, all right, my brain said this, and the response I'm getting, they don't even seem like they're mature enough or aware enough to release the next piece of information, and you just get quiet, you just smile when you meet others. That's how we do the protective.
That's awesome. Next 3 years for the world, what does it look like?
Sheesh. So we're at another industrial revolution. We were at 5, we're going into 6. That means that technology is going to be more humanized, more personable than what we're used to. It's not going to be robotic and without more interaction. So we are getting closer to that world in the next 3 years. It's moving that rapidly. So where are you in terms of a house that's talking and walking with you? Where are you in that? You need to start your journey of protection, because the world that you know right now is about to be a different world. And you don't want to feel like, oh, I missed the times when we had a horse and buggy and a Conestoga wagon or whatever. That's never coming back. So you do have to be prepared for that 3 worlds or 3-year jump, because it is a jump. So you better be ready for your time travel. Put on your
next 3 years for Manejay.
Next 3 years for me. Wow. Well, I'm gonna be ready for the next 3 because I'm preparing now. So that looks like, more streaming, more feeds out to the public, giving them guidances on how to deal with the new world that we've encountered, how to protect our children going into that world and our love lives and everything else that's in between. It looks very productive because I'm in that mind state right now. I'm getting onto the Bitcoin. I'm understanding even our money is changing. I'm not going to be a relic. So that's what it looks like in 3 years.
Awesome, Manejay. Thank you for taking this time. I know we're gonna do this again. We haven't even scratched the surface, right?
Not at all.
So 10 minutes with Maxx Gilliam. We want to thank Manejay. Give out your information. What anything we can purchase or anywhere we should go to support you.
Awesome. You can visit my shop on Amazon.com. I'm M.Vivi. That's where all my publications are, and physical and ebooks. You can visit me at my Instagram, which is I am Manejay, and my Twitter. I kept the handle the same, so we're not lost in the transition. I am Manejay. So that's where
all right. We're gonna see you soon. We're gonna put something together. To do more. We have to come up with something else outside of 10 minutes with Maxx Gilliam. We're gonna put something else together.
Max, we did it. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.